Atheists. Thanks for clicking on this video. It means a lot to me, really. I'm a religious guy who's devoted my life to a God you don't believe in, so you're taking a bit of a risk here that I might insult you, make you feel bad about your life, or at the very least, waste your time.
Hello, internets! Welcome to Deconverted Man! On today's show, I'm going to be answering a simple question from a monk. What's that? From a Catholic who's dressed like a monk.
This question is not meant to trick you or convert you. I don't have some super ingenious question that will somehow inspire faith in a deity, as much as I'd love to. I'd rather just like to challenge you. You say that you're an atheist, that you don't believe in gods, and I just want to know one thing. Are you a good one?
Well, that's a very simple question. Yes, I'm a good atheist. And so is everyone that doesn't believe in God. We're all good atheists. In fact, the only way to be a bad atheist is to be a theist. See, then you believe in God, and that would make you a very bad atheist indeed. What's that? Oh, you mean morally speaking? Oh, one of those videos, huh? Well, I have the feeling that this is going to result in some preaching and some squirming around that you're going to try to do to be like, I have the moral high ground. I'm not going to say that I have the moral high ground, but I do have the moral high ground because I have an objective moral standard and you don't. Well, asking me this question of if I'm good or not. Your goodness or lack of goodness should ideally be separate from your beliefs or lack of beliefs. But sometimes we intertwine them. And when we intertwine them, that might be a bad thing, because if we think it's good to have X belief, then we can't challenge X belief. And vice versa, if we think a belief is bad, then we cannot acquire that belief. Or at least it might hinder our ability to do so. So being a rational person, I want to try to separate my emotions from my evaluation of various different ideas and or beliefs or non-beliefs or however you want to put that. Doing so allows me to be a free thinker.
Are you a good atheist? It's a question that I ask with two things in mind. The first being related to morality. While religion in general, and Christianity in particular, doesn't necessarily make someone a moral person, these ways of life do necessarily demand morality of adherence.
Yeah, you can demand morality out of adherence all you want, but unless you're enforcing that in some way, shape, or form, they're not going to perform that way. In fact, wasn't it a whole bunch of priests from the Catholic Church that did stuff that, how do we put this, was evil and wrong and vile and despicable and disgusting? So, yeah, it seems like you can demand all you want, but that doesn't necessarily guarantee results.
There is a particular code of life that one must live. In the case of Catholic Christianity, that code is one of peace and justice, mercy and forgiveness.
Unless it was in the time of the Spanish Inquisition. The Inquisition, what a show. The Inquisition, what do you know?
It's a code that seeks to care for the poor and seek reparations for those who take advantage of the vulnerable. Now, Lord knows we don't always live up to our founder and have actually done some pretty atrocious things through the years, but it is our faith that at least informs us when we do these things and gives us and reminds us a moral code to live by.
DCT is the ethical system that you're referring to here. Divine Command Theory. The idea that a divine God has inspired these words on a page that tell you what not to do or what to do, and you simply follow those instructions. So that's where the faith comes in, because you have no way to verify that anything that's written down was ever actually inspired by God. I know apologists will make all sorts of excuses and arguments saying that that's not the case, but honestly, you wouldn't call it faith if you had facts. Nonetheless, your system isn't necessarily from the divine. It might just be from other humans, and as such is no better or worse than any other system. But actually might be worse, because if you declare it as divine and thus unquestionable, then you can't ever change your mind on what you're supposed to do or not do. And I see that as a potential problem.
Now, as someone who doesn't have this foundation, who doesn't believe in a God or adhere to a religion, there is no superstructure making this demand on your life. No one telling you how to live in certain situations.
Oh no, nobody's telling me what to do. I have to think for myself. Oh no, the horror. Actually, lots of people try to tell you what to do all the time, whether it be laws or just other people. But ultimately, it's me that has to figure out what to do or not to do. Oh man, that's really tough. Oh man, I mean, it means I have to think about stuff. Oh man.
Without a belief in an afterlife, there might be a feeling that all the world is futile, so what difference does it make?
It makes a difference to me, and it makes a difference to other people here and now. But what possible difference would it matter if there was an afterlife? If everything that I could do here, I could do there. In fact, I could read every single book that there is to read, listen to every song that there is to listen to. I could watch every video that there is to watch every movie, every television show, everything that there is, and still, I wouldn't have even begun to make a dent in eternity. I would outlive the earth. Then I'd proceed to outlive the solar system. Then I would proceed to outlive the galaxy. And then I'd proceed to outlive the universe itself. What in the bleep would 150 years be in comparison to all of that time? Those trillions and trillions of years that had passed. It'd be an insignificant dot at that time. So, if there is an eternal afterlife and there's no way to exit, then this life absolutely doesn't matter, not even a little. Whatever I've done here, I could do there. And I don't have to worry about pain and suffering. That sounds a lot better. So why live? If the afterlife is so much better, why bother living now at all? And some people believe that and end their existence here and now so that they can get to the good part. Isn't that backwards? But rather, by not believing in an afterlife, I value the here and now more than ever before.
Even though there may be no eternal reward or punishment, even though you're free to do whatever you want, do you choose the virtuous path that benefits not only you, but others? I hope so. The world needs good atheists.
Just ignore this verse in the Bible. Just ignore that it exists at all. Also, these verses pose a problem for what he is saying, but let's just ignore all of them.
When I ask if you're a good atheist, I want to know if you're good at being an atheist.
It's true! It's true! I suck! I suck at being an atheist! Wait. It's okay, though. It's okay. Because I'm forgiven by our Lord and Savior, Richard Dawkins. Oh, dearest Richard Dawkins, hallowed be thy name. Thy meme you made for the internet, thy word become truth for us all, for which it is in science Give us this day our Dawkins bread.
Do you articulate why you don't believe in God in a coherent way, or you just think that religion's dumb, so use logical fallacies?
He talked about logical fallacies. That's cute, because they're the ones that do that, not us. Okay, so there's a false dichotomy here. You could have religion being dumb and somebody also using logical fallacies to point out religion is dumb. You see, there exists a fallacy called the fallacy, in which the conclusion isn't necessarily false because the argument is faulty. The conclusion might be true independent of the argument, but of course, if the argument is faulty, then you should be skeptical of the conclusion. If there's a fallacy in the argument or the structure of the argument, you must be skeptical of the conclusion, even if you know independently the conclusion is true. Also, you have a poisoning of the well here. This thing is dumb, therefore whatever. Well, maybe it is dumb, maybe it's not dumb, I don't know, but let's look at it before we make some sort of value judgment. Also, potentially ad hominem here that you're saying, well, it's dumb, therefore it's wrong. No, it might be dumb, but it could still be true. That's possible. Just because something is dumb or appears stupid or whatever, that doesn't mean it's false. So, lots of logical fallacies that you just committed right there. But I'm sure that you won't commit any other logical fallacies, right?
Have you read for yourself the works of real theologians, people articulating our beliefs in the best way we know how?
Oh, the real theologians. All this time I've been reading fake theologians. Oh, the real theologians with the real theology and the true truth with the actual real right version of the Bible. Not that other one. That's the fake one, don't you know? Well, you haven't tried the real version. You've only tried the fake version. You haven't looked into the real truth. You haven't read it, so you don't understand. Are you so stupid? Are you dumb? Have you read all this stuff yet? No? Dummy, you idiot. Oh, the fallacy was a no true Scotsman. So that, remember I said he wasn't going to do that, and then he did that's what made it funny. So yeah.
Ask more questions. Read more perspectives. Be able to articulate your understanding of the world with logic and reasoning that will actually add something to the world.
That's a really good thing to say, but I wish you'd started with that and kept it throughout. Read more, study more, ask more, use logic, use reason. Here's some resources to help you to do that. But instead you set out to ask a question. Yeah, And this question isn't meant to insult you, but it kinda is. You're lazy as an atheist unless you've read this, and this, and you don't really have any morals anyways, and also, life doesn't matter if there's not an afterlife. But I'm not insulting you, I'm just asking this question if you're a good atheist or not. I don't want you to be a lazy atheist or a bad atheist. I want you to be a good atheist. What's it matter though? In your system I'm doomed, so why would you care if I'm good or bad? Shouldn't you just care if I believe in a certain thing that I'm supposed to believe in? That will be what saves my eternal soul, right? So I think that this was just to get attention, but that's really just a theory I have. An internet theory! Thanks for watching! That's a really weird way to end this video. Why did I do that? Why am I saying this? Why did I do all those weird faces in this video? I mean, I had to have a reason, right? It's been bothering me this whole time that you are actually Matt Pat. You're Matt Pat from game theory, film theory, and food theory. That's who you are. You're Matt Pat.
It was all good, don't you see?
Belief. And if we don't challenge X belief...